All right, let's dive into Ryan Leake's How to Work with Complicated People. Now, this book isn't just another survival guide. Think of it more as a roadmap for actually thriving in a workplace that can feel, well, pretty challenging. Let's get right into it.
Okay, be honest. The second you saw that title, a face, or maybe even a few faces, popped right into your head, right? Of course, we've all been there. That feeling of dread right before a certain meeting, or the frustration you get from a totally confusing email. Yeah, it's pretty much a universal part of working life.
And the book really gets this, because it immediately starts listing out these characters we all know so well. You know the ones. The boss who's either micromanaging every tiny detail or is completely MIA. Or the colleague whose mood is a total mystery from one day to the next. Or that client with never-ending demands. It can feel like you're navigating a professional minefield.
But this is where Ryan Leake completely flips the script. The whole book argues that our laser focus on them is the very reason we stay stuck. The real problem isn't the person you're thinking of right now.
So what's so clever here is that the book's title is actually a bit of a trick. It's a setup. The author hooks you in by letting you think about everyone else's problems. And then he pulls a fast one and turns the focus right back around on us.
And there it is. That's the core argument of the entire book, in one sentence. It's a total pattern interrupt. Because the only person you can truly, reliably change is yourself. Leake has this fantastic analogy for it. He says reading a self-help book and expecting someone else to change is like taking medicine and hoping another person gets better. It just doesn't work.
And to really make this point hit home, the author starts with himself. He basically says, "Hi, my name's Ryan, and I'm complicated." He admits he's got a lot going on, he can be hard to read, and he's an introvert doing a very extroverted job. See, this isn't about blaming anyone. It's all about self-awareness. The hard truth is, to someone else, we are the complicated person.
So, okay, if we're all part of the problem, how do we start becoming part of the solution? Well, Leake argues that it all kicks off with one fundamental shift in your mindset, moving away from our default setting, which is judgment, and making a conscious choice to be curious instead.
This is a brilliant way to see it. You've got two paths. The old way is easy, right? We judge people, we slap a label on them like micromanager, we assume they have the worst intentions, and we put up walls. But the new way, while it's harder, is completely transformational. You try to understand, you tell yourself a better, more generous story about why they're doing what they're doing, and you build bridges.
So how on earth do you build that bridge? It starts with asking one incredibly profound question. You can ask it to yourself, or if you're feeling brave, you can ask them directly. What is it like to be you? This question is like a key that unlocks empathy. It instantly pulls you out of your own head and into their world, and it replaces all that frustration with a real desire to just understand.
Okay, so shifting your mindset to curiosity is the foundation. That's step one. But how do you actually use that curiosity in your day-to-day conversations? Well, the book gives us a really powerful, practical framework for this. It's called directional communication. Directional communication is the central tool of the whole book. And really, it's a simple idea. A one-size-fits-all approach to how we talk to people at work just plain doesn't work. The way you talk to your boss needs to be fundamentally different from how you talk to a peer or someone who reports to you.
So the framework is broken down into these three clear directions. Each one needs a totally different language, a different focus, and a different end goal. And according to Leake, getting good at switching between these three modes is what really separates the good communicators from the truly great ones.
Now, when you're speaking up to your leadership, you have to speak their language. That means framing your ideas around their goals. Talk about things like return on investment, key performance indicators, and big picture strategy. This isn't about being a suck-up, it's about showing that you get their world and you know how to contribute to it. They're living at the 30,000-foot view, so you've got to meet them up there.
When you're speaking laterally to your peers, the name of the game is collaboration. But we all know conflict is gonna happen, right? So for that, the book gives us this amazing tool, intellectual humility. Starting a tough conversation with a phrase like, "Hey, I could be totally wrong about this, but," is a game changer. It just disarms people. It shows you're looking for a solution together, not just trying to win an argument.
And finally, when you're speaking down to the people who report to you, your role completely changes. You're not just a manager, you're an inspirer and a guide. Your job is to take all the pressure from above and translate it into a sense of purpose for your team. Use stories to show them how their work matters, how it has a real human impact. And always, always keep it hopeful. You're the one who has to show them the light at the end of the tunnel.
So let's talk about the big payoff here. When you combine that internal mindset shift, that curiosity, with the external tool of directional communication, something incredible happens. You're not just managing difficult people anymore. You are fundamentally changing your own professional reality and creating a way better workplace for everyone, and that includes you.
So if you're going to remember just 3 things, make it these. Number 1, the most complicated person you really need to work on is you. Number 2, swap that snap judgment for genuine curiosity with that one simple question. And number 3, become an elite communicator by learning to adapt your style directionally.
And that really brings us to the end. The real question now isn't just about what you learned, but what you're going to do with it. Just think about your week ahead for a second. What is one meeting, one email, or one conversation that you could handle differently using these ideas? Because that's where the real work and the real reward truly begins.